for Pitts. Intercepted by Ray Hubble, who may go all the way again. He's going to be cut off near the sideline. He was tripped by a man standing in front of the Winnipeg bench.
First down, Edmonton with the football. McManus going up top for Eddie Brown. What a catch! Eddie Brown! Touchdown, Edmonton! Penalty markers down all over the field.
Illegal substitution, too many men on the field, Saskatchewan.
From 33 yards out to win the 97th Grey Cup. Ball down, ball through.
What up, everybody? It's your boys, Hop and the Football.ca podcast, back for another week. This is week 10 of the CFL season that we're about to endure. First, I'd like to run through a quick recap of last week. So we'll start on Thursday. Winnipeg blanks BC 25-0. VA gets hurt. Not what you want to see if you're a BC fan. We're going to talk about some of that stuff later, and we'll go through everything. Montreal, despite using roughly 87 quarterbacks in the game, wins 33-16. Our boy Caleb Evans, Dunsky for the year. We have made contact. I will say that. He's in good spirits. Nothing else to report there. We'll leave our guy alone. Seems like Fajardo might be back. I don't know where we're at. We'll see what happens this week. Yeah, soon at least. When the depth chart drops, because Davis also hurt slightly there. That brought Caleb into the game. Dropped a dime. I don't know. My Als, we're going through it right now, but that's enough on that game. Javon Leake, Trey Ford, Edmonton take down the Saskatchewan Roughriders and squad 42-31. We'll talk about the defense in a little bit here. Harris is out for tomorrow, which is Thursday night, against Ottawa. Calgary beats Toronto 27-23. I did note that I would have loved, I think we said the line was -4 if you're a gambler. That's at least what I had my line at. Would have been great if the wind would have blown another single out there for Rene to cover late with the last seconds there. But Calgary gets a gutsy win. Great second half performance. But congrats to them. Anthony, this week, tomorrow night, Thursday, Saskatchewan. This might be the game of the week. Saskatchewan, Ottawa, in the capital for roughly all of the marbles.
Yeah. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna hammer Ottawa as hard as I can possibly hammer them. Look, I mean, that was an absolutely disgraceful defensive performance. I've given credit to Drew Brown and Justin Hardy and some other guys that they have on that offense, at least. And our defense, we played a backup quarterback, couldn't stop them. They scored 42 on us against the backup quarterback. And as far as I know, we just talked about it before we started, Trevor Harris not back this week, which means we're still starting Shea Patterson. And I will not bet American dollars on Shea Patterson. Maybe Canadian dollars, but I don't have those. American dollars will not be placed on Shea Patterson. Ottawa, yeah, if Trevor Harris was starting, I'd bet the house on us. Trevor Harris not starting. So I will be betting on the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
We will get there. We will get there with stuff later for obviously the games this week. Incredible. Great opening statement. And yeah. I think you were the king of content. I listened back to every episode when I edit, and you delivered once again right there with your opening statement.
Thank you.
To speak on that game briefly before we get to today's content, Shea, man, they were close to winning that game. I know the score says it was 11 points. He missed a couple balls. He missed a couple open deep balls. Joe, I think that was a touchdown. That would have been almost a better catch than Holmes for Pittsburgh against Arizona in the Super Bowl. That was incredible. He is a star. we kind of talked about it. Yeah.
I saw a super zoomed in picture. I know those are kind of cherry picked, but the super zoomed in picture, he got his foot down. So
right, and that's what they were talking about was the like control of the ball.
Yeah. It was a touchdown. It's fine. Well, it doesn't matter. We lost it anyway. I'm not gonna say that's the reason we lost. We lost anyway, but it was a touchdown.
I think I know we said in the preseason I gave a couple guys that were drafted that I was excited about. Jojo was one of them. Clearly for good reason. And we've talked about it in the past few weeks too. Like, gonna be happy for guys who go on to the NFL. I know I would assume most CFL fans, probably like BC fans, you might be wishing Matthew Betts was on this team, but you're probably glad that he's getting an opportunity, right? That kind of stuff. But I hope Jojo stays in the CFL because I think he's going to be appointment television most weeks in a year or two. So that's enough for this week. We want to focus a little bit on week 10. We're about now halfway through the season, just under the halfway point with 21 weeks in the year. So we wanted to revisit the 10 questions, right? 10's a good theme. I'll kind of read them off and stuff as we go. I went a little bit out of order because I think they kind of went out of order too. So I chose my own order. This was a choose my own adventure.
Okay.
So here we go. I'm starting with question 3, which was who will lead the league in interceptions? The options were DeMario Houston, Marc-Antoine Decla, Jamal Peters, or Brandon Dandridge, or other. I took Marc-Antoine Decla. He had, I think, the first one of the year, right? Game 1.
He did.
However, it is a Rough Rider, Milligan, who leads with 5, dude.
Yep. He's got 5. I picked other for what it's worth. Again, if you recall, I said it's a simple numbers game. Pick 4 against the rest of the league. Statistically, I'm gonna win more times than not. It seems to be working right now. Roland Milligan's got 5, and then there's 3 people that have 3. DeMario Houston is one of those, so technically he's there. He's only 2 back, and it's possible. But yeah, Roland Milligan, he's having a great year so far. He's maybe the one good part of our defense so far.
He has been incredible. Thurman as well. I'm very excited to see the end of the year awards and how these start to change. I mean, Ty Bev had another sack. There's a lot of guys. I feel like we've had pretty good consistent scoring, and I think there was like maybe week 6 or 7, there was like a tweet of year over year, like the scoring average was up even a couple points. But I don't know, defense. There's a lot of guys who have played really well.
Yep.
This year, so I'm excited to see where it goes. And yeah, that's all I have. Hopefully DeQuan can grab a few and maybe make this thing interesting. Next, with a quarterback to throw for over 5,000 yards. Now, I thought this was interesting. Currently, Bo Levi leads just a couple short of 2,500, just short of halfway at the halfway point. Essentially on pace. VA with 2,469, right about on pace as well. But he goes down with the injury. He's week to week. You can pretty much count him out. And I'm wondering, how deep did you go with your passing yards league leaders?
Yeah, I didn't go too far. I thought Caleres was in 3rd, but he was down around 2,000.
Yes.
So he'd have to really pick up the pace. I know, obviously he's not going to touch it, but Trevor Harris was leading the league in passing yards when he went down. If he stays healthy, maybe he takes a run at it. Fajardo is the same way. I think Trevor Harris went down a few weeks before Fajardo, so I think when Fajardo went down, he was leading the league in passing yards. And then he goes down. Yeah, Bo Levi is more than on pace because that's out of 8 games played, and they obviously play 18. So he keeps that pace. He'll smash. He'll be at like 5,600. He'll be well over the number.
Yeah, absolutely. I said no for this question.
I said no as well.
So yeah, Bo Levi might be the bane of our existence. But yeah, Caleres in 3rd, obviously. It's just crazy because he is like remained healthy. Like I think Bo Levi maybe the only guy, but because Drew Brown went down for a half. Are those two the only guys that have maybe started all their games
Jake
for their
Mayer
teams?
or
I feel like,
Meyer didn't.
oh yeah,
I think he
Meyer.
missed the
Yep.
game. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
otherwise. Yeah, but yeah, Caleros, I mean, even he got, benched for Strevler like a couple of those
yep.
games. So, but for him to have 2,000, we kind of dogged like the GOAT status and that kind of stuff to this point. But yeah, crazy for him to be in third all of a sudden, even while being 2-6.
Yeah.
Crazy. Next, we'll head down to the league lead in receiving touchdowns. Unfortunately for me, well, I took other, and I, in specific, named Tyson Philpott, who has now gone through 3 different quarterbacks. Justin McGinnis for BC leads with 6. Philpott and then Keandre Smith from Hamilton tied in second with 5, but 2 of the options for this question, who were Timmy White and Alexander Hollins, both have 4 as well. This is a fun race, especially with, the yards record talk has kind of simmered down now, and obviously VA goes down for like McInnes and Hollins for those yards, but that's still interesting. This race is going to be very fun.
Yeah, it's going to be close. And I picked other as well. Again, just a numbers game. But the most popular pick from this was Dalton Schoen, who's obviously he's out. So that's kind of opened up the door for a lot of the other guys. But it'll be a really, really good finish. It could really be anybody.
Yeah,
anybody
absolutely.
gets hot, they could have Sean Bain had a 3-touchdown game, or did he only have 2 week 1? So anybody gets hot like that.
Had 3.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, it seems like in the CFL there's a lot of like multi-touchdown games.
Yep.
For receivers at least. But passing league, so I guess it makes sense. But we'll move on now. Team with the most sacks this year. So I went with Montreal. And then I wrote down the top 3 percentage vote getters. I don't know how many people. I don't think they provided that when I was trying to track everything back here. Did you happen to look at that, Ant? I thought it was interesting.
I was looking at them for some of the other ones. I didn't have them written down for this.
So interestingly, Winnipeg caught 28% of the vote from the people that did the futures in the CFL game zone. Saskatchewan had 19% and then BC with 16. Those were the only 3 teams over double digits in percent. Leading now the league is BC and Toronto tied within first with 18. Then behind them is Edmonton, Hamilton, and Saskatchewan tied for second with 17. And every team has 14 or more sacks, which is like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. Everybody's kind of in the game right now.
I picked Edmonton, so I picked maybe an underdog. I bet they might have the lowest percentage. But to only be back 1, I figure I know there was no betting lines on this, but as a value play, I'll take those odds as a value pick there.
I love it.
I feel good.
He's an accountant, fellas. I don't know what to tell you, CFL fans. This guy just knows his numbers and his percentages. Yeah. Next, we'll move on to the most outstanding Canadian last year, arguably, depending on who you are, the most outstanding player last year, Brady Oliveira, over under 1,299 and a half rush yards. This looked bleak at the start, but I will tell you what, the last few weeks have been great for Oliveira. And I will say I was very surprised to see the number that he's currently at, leading the league, 611. So he is also kind of like Bo Levi. He's right on pace, or a little bit above even.
He is on pace for 1,374.
Wow.
Just double check the math. So yeah, he's right there.
I saw you squinting. I was like, what is he doing there?
Yeah, I don't have my contacts and I have glasses, but the glasses have a glare. So I was trying to squint to read my screen as I typed in my numbers there. But we're here. We're here at 1,374. So he's a little bit over the pace, but it's close. It's real close.
What did you take? I think you took under, right? Was that one of the ones we did?
Yeah, no, I took over.
Oh, okay.
I took over.
Okay. Damn it, I thought I was going to catch one there.
Nope.
Next, we'll move on to some fun here. Which team will have the best regular season record? I took BC. Currently, that is obviously my Montreal Alouettes at 7-1. And I want to read off the percentage of vote as well. But Ant, do you know who the team with the second best record in the CFL is right now?
I believe it's tied. I believe there's a two-way tie between the BC Lions and, of course, my beloved Saskatchewan Roughriders.
So,
or do we get passed by the Ottawa Red Blacks?
So that is true that both BC and Saskatchewan are 5-3.
Yeah.
Ottawa, however, is 5-2. So if you're going by win percentage,
no, I'm not. I'm not going by win percentage. Win percentage is a coward's way to look at it. I go by wins. Sorry, we only count. We don't even look at the losses. The losses are out of sight, out of mind. We only look at wins here. So we're at 5.
You're the best. I love you more. I love you so much. You're the best. So for the percentage vote, Winnipeg 39% preseason, BC 27%. Saskatchewan was in third with 11%, and then people thought Montreal only at 6%. So we had both of our teams there in the top half of the league. I thought that was a crazy percentage breakdown, especially like I've been seeing some of the CFL fantasy numbers, and I know there's like at least 1,000 people that do that. So you'd assume that, you're still talking about like, based off of that number, which I'm sure there's plenty more that, actually did this. You're talking about like 400 plus people thinking Winnipeg, and now they are in trouble.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I had Winnipeg. Unfortunately, I've never been more happy to be wrong, quite frankly. It's wonderful. I only wish they were 0-8. I don't wish that I was right on this so that I could get the point here. I wish that they would go winless. So I love this personally.
Not a more genuine person than you, Ant. Awesome. True to form there. I did want to note too, I thought it was interesting. Montreal's defense Montreal as a team has allowed 168 points as a team, which includes a pick 6 from Fajardo. In 8 games, Ottawa's defense 167 in 7 games. So shout out my Montreal Alouettes defense. They continue to hold strong. Next, we get to the source of the James Letcher 20 touchdown season.
Yeah.
We need to get him one at least.
He's got to pick up the pace. He's got to have a crazy back half of the year, James Letcher. Just an absolute insane run.
He's getting close to needing to average two returns a game to hit the 20 mark. But I'd be happy with like 5.
I still believe in him. I still think he can get there. He's gotta lock in.
Absolutely. He's got to find a lane or two. He's as equipped as anybody to break one loose. The over-under for the season was 10.5. And now we talked about this. I took the over, obviously, because I talked about how much I love the return and whatnot. We had 2 called back, and that was Edmonton and somebody. Was that Saskatchewan, maybe the first matchup of the year?
So. Yeah.
Maybe even week 1? Yeah.
Because I know Alford took one back and they called it back, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think we had 2 of them called back. We are now up to 6, though. Janarian Grant being the biggest reason. He's got 3 of them. So 11 is what we need. We're on pace for that. I'm excited. I took did you take the under on that one?
I took the under, yeah. So make up a point there. It's all right. I hope nobody gets a return touchdown the rest of the year. I hope there's 0. Except for James Letcher. I'll be happy. We can lose if James Letcher has 20. Otherwise, it better go under.
Fair enough. I respect that. I do want to talk about. I want to have a diatribe one time about the no yards penalty. One of these days, because it's something that's just been in my head a little bit that I want to get off my chest. Similar to the Trey Ford thing. Just a couple words on that. But anyways, we'll skip now. So I combined the who will win the East, who will win the West, and who will win the Grey Cup all together. These were questions 1, 2, and then 10. Yep. My I don't know. I don't really have OCD, but if I did, I would say that it couldn't really handle that for reading this in that way. So that's why I wanted to start the way we just did. So who wins the East? Montreal was my selection. Montreal currently leading the East ahead of Ottawa.
Yep, I also picked Montreal. These are the two that I noted the breakdowns for. So Montreal at 37%. Hamilton was second with 25% for the who wins the East. Toronto at 24%, and then Ottawa was scraping the barrel. I don't have their percentage written down because it was so low, but I think it was like 7 or 9%. It was low. It was real low.
Wow.
So, yeah, nobody
What a
liked
turnaround.
that. I wasn't the only one to say that Ottawa stunk. So don't say that I don't know ball. The whole league didn't know ball. Yeah, it's
a
fine.
systemic problem.
Yeah, it's a systemic problem in the CFL. Some are saying export the CFL to America and we'd know ball better.
Okay, I'll let you say that. I'm going to leave that one alone, and I will focus our attention on the West. I did take your Saskatchewan Roughriders. I thought this was going to be a football A Grey Cup. Currently, obviously, BC and Saskatchewan are tied with the big one tomorrow night for Saskatchewan, trying to beat Ottawa for maybe Ant's like reputation is on the line. I don't know.
Yeah, so I believe
It's really
when we did
theirs to
our
lose, is it not?
what?
I feel like the West is kind of Saskatchewan's to lose. I mean,
What do you mean ours to lose?
Well, VA is down. He's hurt.
Trevor Harris is down.
He's about to come back.
You think? Who knows? The injuries are so finicky. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Thor's still out. We're missing like half of our O-line. We have the worst defense in the league. The only team we've beaten in the last couple weeks is Winnipeg, who's basically, they don't even have a pulse. That doesn't count. That's like beating the Arizona Cardinals. It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. No, don't say it's ours to lose. If anything, it's Calgary's to lose. Calgary's only a game back, and they have Jameis Jake Meyer back there. Yeah, it's fine. So I think when we did our preseason thing, I changed my mind on the spot and I picked Saskatchewan. Does that ring a bell for you?
Sure, you can.
Okay, I don't know. In the thing, it said I picked BC, but I believe I changed my mind on the spot and picked Saskatchewan. So who knows? I'll take both of them. Either one wins, I get the point. So just mark that one down.
No shot. No shot. That's a legally binding form in the country.
Okay, well, then I have BC. And yeah, I mean, frankly, I'll still take those odds because VA is going to be back come playoff time, probably. Knock on wood. So it's still probably BC.
Fair enough.
With our defense.
Last week, which was one of the best run defenses until Javon Leake had what was it, 3 50-yard touchdowns or more? Like 50, 55, and 60 maybe? 62.
Yeah, wasn't good. It wasn't a good week. Hand up, wasn't a good week. I'll admit it. Not a good week.
Great week from Javon. He was awesome. It was crazy because Kevin Brown, obviously Edmonton's main starting running back, and Thor were both out, so it was down to second string guys, and then Javon just found the holes. And he's so. Did you see the stat that he was? Did you see the? They need to rub it in. Did you see the stat that he actually had a faster sprint speed than anybody in the NFL last year by 0.2 miles per hour?
I did not. You tell me he's faster than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, the top sprint speed. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's really fast.
It was I think it was 23.5, and DK Metcalf ran a 23.3 or something, or 22.3. Yeah,
that's incredible.
It is crazy how fast. I don't remember if it was sprint speed or average I don't know. I think it was.
Sprint speed sounds right.
Yeah, it was probably something like that. All right. Anyways, that's enough. The 111th Grey Cup. My matchup was Montreal and Saskatchewan. I do have my Als going back to back. A little nerve-wracking with the quarterback situation. And you said BC and Montreal. And then who was your winner?
BC. Yeah. Which, again, holding to the assumption that VA's back, I feel fine with that pick. They haven't played as good as I probably would like somebody that they haven't been as good as Montreal. I'm not trying to say they have been. But I mean, I still think VA is the best player in the league. So
Wow.
I'll take those odds.
Wow.
Roll with the
Best player.
guys. I think San Francisco was better than the Chiefs last year, but the Chiefs had Mahomes. So works the same way.
That's a certainly fair point. This week, all early for Central Time, 6:30, 6 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. So I do love to see that for time wise. But Saskatchewan, I hate waiting. I hate waiting for these games at night. So the 6 o'clock and the 6:30 start time is so much better than 7 and 7:30. And it has nothing to do with like staying up late. It's just that I want the football so bad. So I was elated to see week 10 all 6:30 and sooner starts. Saskatchewan heads to Ottawa, Calgary, and Toronto. They flip and play what now for the third time? Yeah, so they'll head to Calgary, heads to Toronto for the. I'm not gonna say menage a trois, but I almost said it.
That's only if they were playing in Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hamilton also turns around and heads to Montreal. That'll be an interesting game, and then BC at Edmonton. And did you do the homework you said you were going to do and get the official standings?
Yeah, you are up by 1. You are by 2 going into last week. You are up by 2 going into last week. We had 3 of the same, and then the difference was that I picked Edmonton and you picked the under for that game.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, so
it was actually, not to be the actually guy, it was like 28-24 with like 6 minutes left in the game, and then Javon Lee went back-to-back 50-yard touchdowns, and Shea went and got one at the horn.
We don't need to relive it. We don't need to relive it. It hurt enough live. It hurts pretty bad to go back over. It's fine. I took the win there. I took the win. We made up a game. We're here. I don't know. Only 10 weeks left. I don't know if I can make up the 1. But it's possible. I got to get lucky. Rely on the Vegas of Canada to bring me back here.
Oh, I love it. All right, give me the lines here for Saskatchewan and Ottawa.
Okay. Give me a sec.
All right, I guess I can do my own research. Won't get geopolitical. First episode maybe in history. All right. Ottawa -3.5, 48.5 is the over/under against Saskatchewan. You said you're on Ottawa. Is that
Hammer? Yeah, I think Ottawa -30.5. It's crazy. They're gonna blow us out. This is definitely not a reverse jinx. I'm not known for my reverse jinxes. Everybody would say that. Yeah, Ottawa hammer.
Everybody knows Anthony Reverse Jinx Ventura is not a nickname of his at all.
Never been known to do a reverse jinx.
Yes, not once. We've had a few good reverse jinx battles in our day.
Here we go.
I really want to be the contrarian and go with Saskatchewan -3.5.
No, you don't.
Or +3.5. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I do. There's no way.
You're gonna put your hard-earned American dollars on Shea Patterson to win a professional football game.
Look, he doesn't have to win. He just has to lose by 3 or less points. I don't think there's any way Corey Mace is going to let that happen again. What just happened last week. Oh, man, it's really hard to bet against Drew Brown. I mean, legitimately, Drew Brown might be the best quarterback in the CFL, at least for the last month.
I mean, with all the injuries, maybe. Yeah, he's certainly not
close.
He's not the best quarterback in the CFL, but with all the injuries, he might be the best this week. If there's no Fajardo and there's no Trevor Harris and there's no VA and Calero stinks this year, then Drew Brown.
In the last month, he's been the most productive. That's all.
It's been VA, but he's there. He's right there. I'll hear you for that.
Actually, it might be Bo Levi.
Probably who we don't thinking of. We don't care about Hamilton. Those are empty stats. I don't really mess with those.
Only what, one win? So yeah, whatever. 2 wins. They went back to back. I'm gonna take Saskatchewan. I'll be on your side, on your Rough Riders plus
Mistake.
3.5. So that's really gonna put you in a pickle, because if they win outright, then you're gonna be really pissed.
No, I'd be fine with that. Worst case scenario, they lose by 3. Worst case. They still
That's
lose,
true.
but I lose that and you win the pay. Yeah, no, that'd be bad. Let's
I
hope
also,
that.
people forget I have their win total too, so I could use a dub here in the nation's capital. Toronto -1.5. Friday night. What do you think?
And so, if memory serves, last week was a bad Jake Mayer game. Is that correct?
I mean, he led the comeback. They won. It started out bad. It was
supposed to be a bad
on pace. It was on pace to be a bad Jake Meyer game and that was going to be accurate. And then it turned into the second half. It was a great Jake Mayer game.
It's really got me in a blunder here. I'm going to go, this is a bad Jake Mayer week, and we're going to go Toronto.
Ooh. You know what they say? I'm a baseball guy, as we know. Basically, a $100 million MLB player, as Ant would have you folks think. So in baseball, we say it's hard. I mean, I guess every sport, it's hard to sweep a team. I'm going to take Toronto -1.5.
Welcome.
That scares me a little bit. They've given up the most sacks in the league with 22, but they also have the most with 18. So that should even out in the wash. And I think Cam Dukes might figure it out. Kadeem Carey, get him involved. Montreal -7.5. Hamilton. Sounds good. We'll be done in like 10-15. So Montreal -7.5. They've got Hamilton. That's a large number. That number makes me think Fajardo's back. I mean, I think he's practiced all week.
7.5 is a lot of points. Yeah. There's no way they'd set it there unless the Vegas of Canada thought Fajardo was back. So
that's my favorite joke.
I think, I don't know. It's first game back from injury is tough. There's always some rust there. You got to ease back into it. I'm tempted to take Hamilton, but Hamilton stinks, and they've won 2 in a row, which means they're due for a bad game.
Wrong.
What?
They lost last week.
I thought you said.
They
just said 2 straight.
They had won 2 straight, and then went to Montreal and lost 33-16.
You're right. I'm off a week. Because we didn't recap last week. I'm off.
Yeah,
it's fine.
My bad.
Okay. Montreal -7.5.
Wow. Oh, dude. 33. Dude, it's crazy. 17-point victory, and doubled them up. And then some with, like, it was Davis, it was Caleb, it was back to Davis. They signed a guy I'd never heard of. He's 35. East Carolina guy. Interestingly enough. So it shows my research. That's so 7.5 is so many points though. I think if Fajardo's back and they just won by 17 with their second and third stringer trading off, and I gotta go. I think Montreal wins by 10 again. At least.
Yep. Feels like it.
That's crazy. The 50.5 number is screaming for me to take under, but I'm going to ignore it. Lastly, Edmonton slight favorites -1.5. You said that was BC, right?
Yep.
Okay, in BC, right? In the
no. Sorry, it's in Edmonton.
It is in Edmonton. My bad, folks. I didn't write it down.
This week.
All the home teams are favored this week.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, I mean, you think about it. It's backup quarterback for Saskatchewan, backup quarterback for BC. Fajardo's coming back, and then Toronto. I mean, Calgary and Toronto are just kind of the same team. They're both kind of mid. So
absolutely.
Also, while we kind of skipped over it, where's this Chad Kelly saga at? Because I thought he was only suspended 9 games.
Mm,
Or I thought it was 9 weeks. I thought it was 9 weeks, and this is week 10. Or is it 9 games, and he can come back next week?
that I don't know. But that being said, if as we've gotten closer, it feels like that front is a lot quieter.
Yeah,
So
I
that
haven't
will be
heard anything Chad Kelly related. And I would have expected, again, not to compare everything to the NFL, but if Pat Mahomes was suspended for 9 games, the noise the week before he comes back would be quite loud.
Yeah.
Quite loud. I just can't fathom why it's not the same thing in the CFL. I don't. Somebody could explain that. Are they this Canada? I don't want to say that the U.S. lets stuff like what Chad Kelly did slide, but like, does Canada? Do they hate it more? We kind of do. Do they hate it more? Like, are the Canadian fans still so upset with what he did that they want to root not against him, but they don't want to root for him and they don't want to get excited about him because of what he did? Or is it just, I don't know. Somebody explain it to us, please.
Yeah, obviously a very touchy subject, which I think you hit on perfectly. And I know our humble roots starting the CFL Reddit. I've seen people, preseason, during the season, recently in the CFL Reddit, bring up like, hey, don't bring him back. He doesn't deserve to come back.
Yeah.
And I don't make those decisions, so I'm not going to comment on that. Obviously, the CFL thought to suspend him essentially half the season. There's definitely you would think that means there is a pretty large amount of wrongdoing. In that case, I think that would be fair to say, and I don't want to step on toes and whatnot. But that being said, yeah, it seems like from what I read, people don't really CFL fans aren't really I don't know if they're craving a comeback like you said, if this was Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or a little bit more high profile NFL. You could say that as well.
Not to hit on the head, but I'm a Browns fan. Deshaun Watson is a good case. I mean, he was the top 3 quarterback in the league. Allegedly did what he did. Out 2 years. The noise when he was coming back was very, very loud. And obviously what he did was allegedly worse than anything Chad Kelly's done. Not to say Chad Kelly, what he did wasn't bad. The Deshaun Watson stuff is worse. So the fact that the noise around him was so loud and I'm not hearing anything around Chad Kelly is so weird to me. I just don't understand Canada. I want to understand Canada. I don't understand Canada.
To that point, I've been on Zillow and looking at the living situations in certain CFL cities.
Heck yeah!
I'll tell you what, I should probably visit first, but there's a lot of want to be in Canada, and that's not to say I don't love where I live and my family in the US.
What's it? Because it's not Toronto. Toronto, you gotta. Because I've looked at Toronto too, being a Leafs fan. I've looked in Toronto. God, I mean not here's the geopolitical. Not to get too geopolitical. The housing market in Toronto is just a mess right now. Not that the housing market in the U.S. isn't a mess, but prices in Toronto are ludicrous. I assume Hamilton's the same way. You almost have to be out in Regina, or not in BC's too expensive. You got to be out in Regina, or even Winnipeg's probably too much. Move to become a Rough Riders fan. Go get season tickets. I'll come out to a couple games.
I did. I mean, to let the people in. I mean, it's just us on this podcast. It's not, it's not like we're keeping that big a secret. I did text you about a potential financial opportunity that we should pursue.
You did.
Relating to real estate in Canada. So I was. Look, if I was standing or sitting in a like the questioning, like in the courtroom, if I was a witness right now and you said, "Sir, have you or have you not looked at in depth the real estate market on Zillow in Regina near Mosaic Stadium?" And I responded no, I would be in contempt of court. That's all I'm gonna say.
perjury.
Yes, I would be. Yes, I would. That's the word, perjure. I would have perjured myself. Absolutely, I would have lied directly on the stand. But
Wow.
are we gonna make a pick on the Edmonton game?
Yeah. I guess we can. Sorry, little sidetrack there with geopolitics. Yeah.
Geopolitics and
So
moral issues.
okay. So run Edmonton -1.5. Coming off that win, Trey Ford looked good, but against the worst defense in the history of football. I'm going to take Edmonton here. I've been picking Edmonton a lot, just because I think they're scrappy and they play every game close and they're almost always underdogs. I'm gonna keep picking Edmonton. I don't know off the top of my head who BC's backup. I don't remember who their backup is, but
Is that a bit, or do you actually not know?
I really don't recall. I forgot. Yeah.
It's your former quarterback, Jake Dolegala.
Yeah. I don't care. I'm not worried about him. Unless Aiden Eberhart goes off this week, which he very well might because he's him. I'm gonna take Edmonton. And shout out Joel DeBlanco. Yeah, support our guy, Joel DeBlanco.
I almost the last play, or like one of the last plays of the Edmonton game last week was there was a single or something in the end zone or something like that, and Joel was right there on defense, and I was about to send you the screenshot, but I didn't. But yeah, shout out Joel. I'm gonna follow you there. Edmonton -1.5, and that will do it for the Football 8 podcast. This was probably a pretty solid one. I don't know what the time is. Do you have a time in the top left?
I do not.
Either do I. I'm on my phone.
44 minutes.
Oh man, way better than like the hour 17 we've been doing.
Yeah, we rant a little bit sometimes. We rant a little bit. I mean, we just had a whole offshoot about Canadian housing markets, so it's fine. And we did a whole Chad Kelly, Deshaun Watson bit there. So we for what we did, this was good. I hope everybody enjoys this episode. I had fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too, as we do every week. Please continue to support us. I'm not one to beg, but I'll beg. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Twitter.
Nobody sent us any pictures of any planes. No, we didn't get any DMs of any planes and anything like that. So I'm a little disappointed in the fan base. I don't know what the next step is. Maybe like buy a spaceship, like buy SpaceX from Elon Musk and listen to Football A on the side for the next launch. We won't accept anything less. Actually, we will accept much less. Literally anything you want to do to support us. But if you want to do that, we're not going to say no.
You are something, Ant. All right, everybody. Yeah, I've been trying to live tweet the games. I had a great Edmonton meme from 2 weeks ago, so I thought that was good. But yeah, this has been the Football A podcast. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you later.